we're back with another Age of Mythology Retold point of view game, and today it's one of my games. It is a moose game. We're doing pretty well currently. We're up above 1600. I'm at 1642 rating as of this game, and that's in the top 200, which is something that I've not been before, apart from the very start of Retold, which isn't really fair because there's a lot of people that, were very, very, very new to the game. And we come up against a Smurf. Now, at the time, I didn't know this was a Smurf. I'm also very annoyed that my villager went to that tree, and I pointed it out to myself, I guess. This wasn't live stream or anything. It was just I record every game I play now, just in case I get a good one. And yeah, so this guy's a Smurf. He made his account 4 days before this game, and he's played about, 30 games. This is his 30th game in 4 days. So this guy is obviously a Smurf. He likes his Age of Mythology. He's 1727, so I guess good American player. You might know who he is. I don't know. But we play pretty well against this guy. I'm pretty happy with it. He also pretends to be new, which obviously I don't know he's new. He says have fun, which is nice. But later on you will see he does question something that somebody of 1727 rating will probably know. But I did feel like maybe I'm getting a bit high in the rating because I like playing Isis, and I know Isis is pretty good currently with all the Migdals and things like that, or at least she's good at high elo. But I've also been playing a bit of Frey. He's also pretty good. So I was like, I'm just going to play somebody different that I've not played for a while in this patch. And I decided to go Poseidon because Poseidon's fun. You can go for kind of 2 different things. We can go for a lot of things, but the 2 variations that work pretty well is you either go full force with the Hippicon and the Centaurs, or just the Hippias and just go ham raiding, or you can bait that and go for a bit of a town center. So I'm going to start off doing basically the same start for either of those and then see where the game takes us. We are against a Hades, and Hades can play pretty defensive. Now, this is what I mean. He pauses the game and doesn't really say anything, so I'm a bit confused what he's actually talking about. And then he says, do you know the hotkey to rotate sentinels? I'm thinking, I think it's the middle mouse. I don't know. I don't play, I just kind of autopilot everything. So I just let him know that it's probably the middle mouse. He says, okay, thank you, unpauses the game, and we're back to it. So I don't know whether that's him trying to, pretend that he's new, or not, or maybe he really is new. Maybe he's just very good at games. Maybe he's like an AoE 2 guy, AoE 4, or just some kind of MOBA expert and knows his micro. But we're looking to go up to the next stage. We're going to go through Hermes, just as I said. It's kind of the standard play. You can do Ares if you really want to. I also mess up where I want to put my villagers because of the new villager update. I really don't know what the villager split is with this amount of villagers, so I'm just kind of winging it. I want to get enough wood to get up a stable and another house. I want to get enough gold and food to get my Theseus and my Atalanta out. I do spot an insane relic, which is cavalry hit points, which, if you don't know, we want to get cavalry. It's pretty good, so I'm sending my guy down there ASAP to go and get that. As Michael Scott says, ASAP as possible. Get that in. And make sure that he doesn't get it. Not that he would want to build cavalry, but I want the option to be able to build them, so I definitely want to do that. And we're just having a scout of the map. My scout of the map hasn't been great this game. I was kind of just painting the map, and I'm just going to carry on painting it. And then I realized later on that I probably don't just want to paint. I want to kind of look at what he's doing. I want to stop him getting a second town center. That is my current goal. I watched Boyd's game, Poseidon versus somebody. I think it was Poseidon versus Hades, and he said that he wanted to stop them getting a second town center and force the sentinels. So I'm trying to pick up little bits of information from everybody. So I'm just going to try that. I don't play much Poseidon, and he says broken relic, so he clearly knows something about the game. He doesn't know how to rotate sentinels, but he knows that cavalry hit points is a pretty good one. So I'm going in with my centaur. I'm looking to force something. He's getting a bit confused, and unfortunately, I have my hands in my pants too long and don't actually get my finger out in time and do anything with that centaur right there. So I do get forced out. But I do have Atalanta here. This map is also huge, so I mean, you need to get a really fast advance time to really put that pressure on before they're in the classical age. But I can still put pressure on. I can still get in. That is what I want to do. And then I spot he goes for a village center. Now, speaking of picking up information, so what I was doing, I have 2 Hippias queued, and I just cancel those bad boys. Because when I was doing a cast with Soup, I asked him what's the best thing to do against a village center, and he says pretty much every time is a second town center that's forward. So I'm looking at my town centers, and I don't know which one's probably the best. I'm just kind of doing it now while I'm trying to get a little bit of damage done. I can take that middle one, and maybe in hindsight that is the best one. But this map's a bit unique where you get an extra town center, so there's 5 extra ones instead of the 4 normally. But I decided to go for the one on the right side because I feel like I can defend that gold mine behind pretty easily. It's got a lot of hunt on it. I'm going to keep him in his base anyway, so I can just take the hunter in the middle. This is my kind of thought process. So that's what I go and do. They waddle over there, get that town center up. He's walling up very defensively. He's got his village center. So I'm just going to try and get as much damage as I really can here. Centaur's in behind the wall, so he gets a little bit of damage done. Unfortunately, I don't kill the villager off, but get a bit of idle time on all of those villagers, and one's pretty low. I realized that I actually did build that Hippia, so I thought I cancelled them both, but I must have just built that one. So I'm like, oh, okay, I need to bring him forward. I can also start to build some more. You know, I still want to go for raids. Maybe he'll want to go straight to the 3rd age. That's something that they do like to do, these Hades players. But as a Poseidon, I still want to put the pressure on. And I do spot a load of villagers here. So just being a bit annoying with the Centaur. I don't think I've killed any villagers yet, but that's not really a problem. He's on a village center, so he doesn't get as many villagers out as me. And also, I'm stopping him from gathering resources like this. They can turn around and shank if they really want to. Atalanta doesn't want to tank the town center for too long, but I realize he's still not dropped his sentinels, so maybe he really doesn't know what he's doing with them, but oh well. Just a pause by mistake. Happens to the best of us, I guess. And just kind of popping in and out, trying to be annoying. Something that I really want to try and improve in my game is trying to just get in and get max value out of a few units, because it's something that the top players do insanely well. So it's something that I am trying to practice. And if you do want to practice that, I think Poseidon's a really good god just to send in with your free Centaur, your Atalanta, your Theseus, and maybe just a couple of normal units. I see the barracks does go down. I'm not really hard committing to these Hippias anyway. I've not got any upgrades. I've barely got any of them. I'm just doing my thing. And now looking at my macro, I'm not really paying attention to it, to be honest. It's pretty poor. I think what I could be doing here is getting my Archaic Age upgrades. I don't believe I've got those yet. And knowing that I want to be on 2 town centers, I want to put on kind of min pressure, I probably should be doing that. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on for the moment. But I do realize this excess of wood could come in handy with an extra centaur. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to kind of see what he does. If he builds loads of units, then I'm going to build loads of units. If he doesn't, then I want to go to the heroic age, as he might as well. I do have my Catastropus on the other town center, just in case it goes for a random town center. And now I realize my upgrades are needed. And then I'm getting a Pegasus with my Hermes upgrade, the free Pegasus that respawns, just to see if I can get some map awareness on that other town center and other gold mine. So this map is huge, but if I can just put my army in the front, then have a scout on the left, scout on the right, it's going to be very difficult for him to do anything. And that's kind of what I'm thinking now. My Theseus is back at home. I know that some players really like to send the Minotaur forward, and it's going to be really tricky for me to deal with if both my Centaurs are forward and my Atalantas and Theseus are all forward. Then Minotaur raids, even just like the base Minotaur with no upgrades, just him on his own, is very annoying. I use my my hotkey there just to move my guy back and forth using the patrol. I think it's a really good idea to have it on something. I put mine on V. I don't know what the default is. It's alt something. And again, my macro is slightly off. I could be in the heroic age now, but I've been sending both sides to gold, and I didn't even realize, and I didn't even build a storehouse. That's what I mean. We've done well in the rating, but I just make some stupid mistakes pretty much every game. It's getting a bit frustrating, but I just forgot those were going on gold, and it shows in the fact that I've got too much gold, and they weren't actually on the storehouse, so I could have advanced the next stage a lot quicker. I do see that he built some barracks, so I'm thinking, well, the logical option against my Hippias that he probably assumes that I'm going is probably going into hoplites. So I'm thinking, well, I'll build some Hippaspis. I'm also thinking about moving out to get some hunt, and I go, I already have 2 lots of villagers hunting outside my base. A third one is probably pushing it. He can just get a load of units and kind of try and raid me at some point. I haven't seen the stable, but I haven't been actively trying to look past just where I am now. He could have been hiding those guys for a while. So my goal now is to build a fortress in the middle of the map somewhere where I get a bit of map pressure, maybe in the middle next to one of these gold mines. That's kind of my thought. I could also put it on that top side there. I did think about building a wall there. I think that's what I went to do, and I'm like, that's going to be an expensive wall. Even though I've got gold out the wazoo, I've got all the gold in the world, so it's probably not a problem. Surely I'm going to realize that I have a lot of gold. I think that is probably the part of my game that is the weakest, and I do need to improve. So I've done well putting this pressure on and seeing what he's got. And I do see he's got a lot of Minotaurs, so this is scary. So straight away, Hippolyta comes out. Theseus joins the gang, because Minotaurs are scary. I realize I pre-queued these upgrades, and now I don't have enough for a fortress, and it's all panic stations here. I want to put my fortress down next to this gold mine. So what I do is I run my units away like I don't want to fight, and I'm just hoping that he just doesn't spot the fortress. I mean, if he does come in, I'll have my 2 heroes there plus centaurs. They're pretty good against the Minotaurs that we did see. And again, I'm still sending villagers to gold that side. Maybe that's where the macro messed up. But anyway, you got to make some mistake somewhere. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a game of Age of Mythology, or at least a game that I'm playing. So my scouts are still having a look. He hasn't moved on to his gold, but I know he's going to have to at some point. So I leave my Pegasus here, and potentially Hippolyta sits back at home. It's very frustrating when that happens. But it is what it is. I realize I need to get more military buildings up. I've got all these resources to spend. Actually, it's quite embarrassing the amount of gold that I do have. But yeah, and then we're gonna get that forward gold. I even go to get the forward gold, and I'm like, wait, I have 1600. I probably don't need any more. And they finish up finally. So we're just gonna move over to the food, move over to the wood, move over to something. And then build out some more guys. Now, I can't see what he's got. I'm thinking Hydras right now is probably what I want to do, and I have gold, so I'm just going to use that upgrade. I'm going to get that upgrade, because the Centaurs, not Centaurs, the Hydras are very good in general, but especially against Greeks, where they don't really have that many heroes. They're very tanky. The bronze is going to be very good in this situation. I do then see that he's over on the gold mine on the left side, so I'm just going to have a little look-see with my centaurs. The centaurs are just gonna go down there. He's got the Minotaur upgrade. He's got, I assume, full Athena hoplites that I haven't actually looked at, but you just assume that that's kind of what it is. So I just need to get some more houses up. Still gonna get my upgrades, and I'm gonna look to fight this at some point, and potentially get some more archers out. I did see he had a lot of archers. I think I saw them just then. Or if not, spoiler, he does get a lot of archers. I also realized that I didn't see the villagers leave, so maybe they're hiding somewhere. My scout down there does get a bit confused, but I'm pretty sure that he ran the other way. So I'm just gonna go and check that. But we're just kind of jockeying back and forth. I mean, I have forced him off of that gold mine, so again, in like the eco sense, I am just kind of doing okay. If you don't look at the amount of gold I have. And now he's moved everything over to the top side. So what I'm thinking now is I want to get to the Mythic Age. I want to get to the Mythic Age for 2 reasons. First of all, if I'm going to go Artemis, then it'll just be good to have an earthquake to deal with the fortress that I'm going to go and attack. And also, he's got all those Minotaurs. There's a ridiculous amount of Minotaurs. So I think a 4th hero is probably for the best here. I realize I don't even have a market, which is funny. So I am slowly getting up to the next stage. Here we go. Now it's all about spamming units out, spamming buildings up to make sure that I've got enough units to kind of repopulate here. And it's probably going to come down to one huge fight. This seems to be what a lot of these 2 town center Greek games kind of kind of come down to now. They just come down to these like big fights. He's just got to the third age, so I'm not really worried about him getting up to the next, getting up to age 4. I mean, maybe what I could have done is not gone mythic and just ran in and stopped him before he got his fortress up. Maybe that is an idea. Maybe that is something that I could have done if I was better at spamming out buildings. I think this game, because yeah, I had loads of gold and not enough wood. Maybe I could have just got more buildings out. I'm trying to get buildings down now. It's a little bit late, but we will be able to build up our houses and get a good fight going off. So I do see that he has a massive army here. And my plan is to use bronze. Bronze partially to see if I can win the fight, but he is just going to run away. But also that just kind of buys me some time. I realized I could have used ceasefire to buy myself some time. But in the moment, bronze was the option. So that's what I went to do. And that does force him out. I think his army was much better than mine there, because I've just spent all these resources going up to the mythic age. So I don't really want to do that. I was not building my houses for some reason, but I'm sure I will at some point. So we get up to max population. Get a little bit of a raid there. There we go. We do notice. Well done, me. And we're just making sure we get out all of our units. Again, I'm just kind of getting all the upgrades, pre-queuing them. I think I do change my mind on some of those because pre-queuing them probably isn't the best idea. I realize I don't have all my heroes out, so saying that I need the heroes out, I definitely do. I need all of the heroes. And also, his whole massive Minotaur army is just coming straight at me. And this is the best ceasefire of my life. It was the cleanest ceasefire that I've ever done. I took no damage at all, and it was just absolutely perfect. I try and cancel that upgrade, but I don't know how I messed that one up, but that kind of happened. So what I want to do here is I want to get my town center up so it helps in this next fight, and I want to get my big tanky hero Minotaur boy or Cyclops boy, whatever he is, Polyphemus out. So I just try and do a bit of selling. I still can't get him. I try and do a bit more selling, and I end up getting upgrades that I've pre-queued. It's all going wrong. But I realized that I need to cancel some, and then I can eventually get this guy out, because he is going to be a massive help in this fight. You saw the amount of Minotaurs there were. There was just a ridiculous sum of them. I mean, we see here. Also, he thinks he's new, but then he baited out my Centaur specials with 1 unit, so it's pretty good. But here he comes. He is just coming straight for me. I realize I haven't dropped my Earthquake yet, so I'm just going to send 1 unit over there. We force out the restoration, or not force out, but he uses the restoration. But Polyphemus is out. All of the heroes are in, so I just need to do a bit of micro with those heroes. The Earthquake is going to go down in the main base. That should kill off the town center. Curse is coming down, but I have so many units, so many heavy units, so I'm absolutely fine. The Minotaurs are going down very, very quickly. He does send a Minotaur to do a bit of a raid on my gold mine, which was nice, but then obviously he doesn't help out within the fight. And I have a decent amount of myth units too. And the fight is going pretty well for us. And as I said earlier, it just comes down to 1 fight. I then do a bit of a situation where all my villagers were idle, so I'm just going to swap this to the view of the in-game rather than me sorting out my villagers, and we get the GG. And then I look on his profile and realize that he's a 4-day-old account. So I don't know who this guy is. If you know who he is, that would be great. It'd be really interesting to see who we beat. But apart from the gold macro game, I felt like that game went pretty well, and I was pretty pleased with my ceasefire. Normally, a lot of people, and including me, ceasefire at completely the wrong point, where you basically lose some units and then you ceasefire. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. I think I'm looking at how good my ceasefire was. Yeah, so it was an even army, and then I ceasefired and then had the advantage. So if you want to see more of these, then subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.